All right. So welcome, Scott and Julie.
Thank you, David. Can you hear me all right? Okay, great. I apologize. I'm going to be doing a little bit of reading. I'll look up now and then to see all your bright faces, etc. But yeah, so let's start this thing. As David said, I'm Scott Winger. I've been on this campus since 1987 as a technologist in various capacities. Um, my favorite of all is working directly with customers, helping them solve their problems every day. Just love it. Our talk today is called AI in Action, Two Anecdotal Experiences, and my co-presenter, Julie Zachman, is right over here. I'm going to speak for about 10 minutes with 5 minutes for questions and answers, and then Julie will step up and she'll take it from there. Before we go on, echoing Lois, if there are any Universities of Wisconsin employees from other universities in attendance today, welcome. It's great to have you. So, Julie and I are a pair of technologists who started our AI journeys last fall. We were part of a group of four who were asked by Todd Schechter to explore ways to get more people on campus to use AI. That was our charge. And the result of that charge is Julie and I presenting here today. And tomorrow, our two colleagues that explored with us starting last fall. Dexter Fierro from UW Stout, but now he works here at UW-Madison. And John Graham, who's a web operations manager for the College of Engineering. They'll be presenting tomorrow. And Julie and I have seen some of the amazing things that John and Dex can do with analytics as assisted by AI. And I think you'll be impressed when you watch their presentation tomorrow. I will say that the time that Julie and I spent working as a group of four with Dexter and John is what gave Julie and I the confidence to stand up in front of you here today. I personally know that without especially John's leadership, um, I would not be up here speaking because I would not have been able to solve this problem that I'm going to be describing. So thank you much, John Graham. I think he's here today. I'm trying to get that next slide. Maybe I have to click into it or something. I'm just trying to hit this key here. Okay, the scenario. A half dozen of us technologists were upgrading Windows computers from version 10 to Windows 11. But this wasn't our first rodeo. We'd done about 3 or 4 departments already. And in those exercises in the previous weeks, there were some things we had to learn on the fly, but they weren't too difficult. We were able to execute these upgrades, 20, 30, 50 machines at a time, with users on site, right there. We were able to upgrade those machines to Windows 11, and it wasn't a problem. But on this particular day, we were upgrading 250 machines. And we knew that a subset of those machines had encrypted C drives. And so we tested that. In our tests, the upgrades are flawless. They just worked. But there was a problem with our testing regimen. In particular, when we were testing these upgrades on these test machines, we were logged onto those machines as local administrators. Kind of a shout out to policy.wisc.edu, the official policy website for UW-Madison. If you've not been there, get there. It's an important site. But per policy, people with encrypted hard drives have encrypted hard drives because they have sensitive information, protected information on those hard drives. And part of the policy that governs how that's done means that they cannot be local administrators. Okay, so we had a collection of machines that were down, but the questions were, which ones? How many? Literally, we had professional knowledge workers standing around or sitting down doing nothing. They were looking at a black screen, which was prompting them for the de-encryption key. We didn't see it coming. Oh, is the slide saying yes? I need a PowerShell ace immediately, right? And that's kind of where we're going with this. Let me go to the next slide here. I think we're still in sync. Was PowerShell the answer? Well, had I been a master of PowerShell, PowerShell would have been the answer. But I've not mastered any programming language. I can script in any language, right? Between me and Google, I can write any script if you give me the right amount of time. But time is something I didn't have. If you were in my shoes, you'd have been sweating bullets, right? Because you've got 30 to 50 professionals unable to do anything at all. And our reputation as DeWitt is going to take a hit here, right? Oh, a little bit about PowerShell. PowerShell versus Python or something else. PowerShell was the only answer here. Why? Because Active Directory was central to everything. The computer accounts were in Active Directory, the user accounts were in Active Directory, etc. So I wasn't going to be scripting this in batch, or I wasn't going to be scripting this in Python or anything else. PowerShell was a tool. Okay, and here's where the dun 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 slide comes in. And my point is that PowerShell alone was not the solution because I wasn't good enough. It would have taken me, I don't know, an hour or two to write the script, and then I'd have to test it, etc., right? But I didn't have that. What I wrote in my notes is that in this situation, to me, PowerShell was as useless as a kickstand, on a bike, a kickstand on a battle tank. It wasn't going to help me, not alone. Okay, so now we're getting to the point of my presentation. And the point of my presentation, the takeaway that I want you each to have, is I want you either to have already started your AI journey or start it this afternoon or tomorrow or right now. Because here's what happened in my case with Julie and John and Dex. Todd Schechter, Chief Technology Officer here, he charged us with figuring out a way how to evangelize AI use on this campus. And that meant that I was in weekly meetings with Julie and Dex and John and learning from them how to prompt an AI. So because of Todd's leadership, I already had a head start. And the key takeaway for this whole presentation is start your AI journey as soon as possible. The bottom line was I knew exactly how to prompt Copilot to get a script. And that meant that in less than 5 minutes, I was already running the script to query 250 machines and ask them, hey, dude, is your C drive encrypted? And then that produced a list of, I don't know, 35 computer names. And I was able to submit that list to the gentleman, my colleague on the back end, who was running our Big Fix and other consoles. And he quickly replied with a list of those computer names and the massively nasty de-encryption strings. And so us boots on the ground, us 5 or 6 techs who were on site, instantly had on our phones every computer name and the de-encryption key that was needed. But not so fast. Copilot produced that script that I needed. That would have taken me hours to write, a couple hours. It produced it in less than about 5 seconds. But we're going to come here now to another point of this presentation. Raise your hands, please. Has anyone in here ever heard of wetware? Do you know what that is? David, speak up. What's wetware? Your brain, absolutely. Here's the thing. I've been on this campus since '87. I've studied computer science here. I've taught IT out at Madison College for 8 years. So my brain, it was instantly able to spot 2 logical errors that Copilot made. And I'll show you what they are in a second. But the second takeaway here, well, I'll get to it at the end, but it's about you. And it's about you always pushing yourself so that every day you provide more value to this organization than you did the day before, right? So anyway, wetware, the brain. What do we got there? Copilot script had 2 errors. Okay. Oh, those of you who are software developers know the difference between a runtime error and a logical error. A runtime error is an error that'll stop the program from running, but what I had was PowerShell code that was syntactically correct. It would have run, but it would have produced useless results. And okay, good enough, dude. I can fix that. But what I didn't have was time, and getting useless results would have wasted time. Anyway, so back to your brain. Constantly push yourselves to learn new stuff, new skills. Scripting is a good one if you're a sysadmin like I am. But anyway, yeah, in seconds, I was able to spot those 2 errors and correct them. And in a total of 5 minutes, I was running that script. This is sort of the code Copilot produced. The actual PowerShell lines that you're seeing there are the actual code with my 2 corrections. And then I added comments. I'm kind of I'm a stickler for comments so that someone coming behind me can read what the script was doing. I'm kind of ahead of myself in my script here. Okay, so if you look at that script about midway down, you're going to see a line that says dollar computer name equals dollar computer dot name. And the dollar computer dot name was in quotes. And if those of you who in this room who are developers know what that means, it means it was literally going to put the characters dollar computer dot name in the variable field, and it wasn't going to give me the actual computer name that I needed. So this was just a mistake that Copilot made, and it's one of the two mistakes that I was immediately able to see, boom, fix, done, run it. So, and there's a same error down a little lower. Am I already over time? Okay. My point is always develop yourself. Now it's your turn to go. So I missed the questions and answers. Okay. Start your AI journeys as soon as possible and always push your stuff to learn yourself to learn new things. Take it away, Julie. Sorry.
Yep, this is the next one. Yep. Yeah. I had to check. Yeah, okay, it works. Hi, everybody. I'm Julie Zachman. Wait a minute, it just disappeared. It did. No, it's on the same screen. There it is. Try this again. Oh, it switched. Try this again. I'm gonna move you here. Oh, come on. Not you. You want. Yeah. Try this again. Oh my. That's cruel. That's very cruel. It's being cruel. Yeah. Come on. I need this to move. There we go. But it just disappeared. One, all right. Two, put on something else. Yeah. Oh, come on. Okay, that'll do. I can read my notes. All right, so AI in action, my anecdotal experiences. So this is meant for an audience of people who are develop or script or solve technical problems, but haven't used AI much to work to help them with that. So I'm curious to know how many people like that are in this audience, but I will wait. I don't want to know right now because I don't want to know it's zero. The, this field is moving forward so quickly. My talk is is obsolete a week ago. I've been using it, or more than a week ago. I've been using AI in my work as a technology assist for about 4 months. It's getting better, and I'm getting better. So the purpose of this talk is to help nudge you forward. So I'm going to present a few examples from my actual life, embarrassing in some cases as it may be, of how I've used AI, uh, where I might have used Google in the past. It helps me to remember details and obviously to learn more faster. So one of the problems I was faced with not long ago was somebody needed some help with moving files from one computer to another, not moving files, making two directories match. And neither of these computers was my laptop, and I had I had privileges on both of them. So my screen is very small and I can't read. I can hardly read what I'm seeing, but might have to look at here. Okay, so this is the prompt to make that happen. I'll just do this. I'll kind of, can you expand it? Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, that's good. Yeah. So AI, help me copy files from a directory on remote system. You don't need to give the actual names as, as Scott found. You can give fake names, just remember to fill them in. In my case, I actually gave the specific names and logins so that I could cut and paste the command at the end. And I got this in a few seconds. Now, I know this command. I was planning to use this command. I always forget the AVZ, so that was nice. Then the dash dash delete, I didn't really believe it at first, but I actually looked it up and it was the correct switch and it worked. Cool. It was faster than going to my OneNote to the right tab in my massive OneNote tool. So on to the next one. Um, I'm doing a search. Now, I should say that I'm a longtime developer. I've been using command line commands for decades. So I'm used to searching for files and strings within files at a command line terminal. For those of you who would never dream of doing that, that's my world. So let's say I have an output I don't like. I want to prune it down. I know it's easy to do. I can't remember how to do it. I never remember how to do that. I'll ask AI. So the prompt is, show me a search command that recursively lists results of a search, but skips directories where I don't have permissions. And the result was pretty quick, but it wasn't what I expected. I would not normally use this command to do that job. I was looking for something with a different command, but it did work. And this command is very familiar to me. I don't usually use it for this purpose, and I learned some new switches. Cool. Well, then for the next one. Have you ever been in a meeting where they talked about something that everybody seemed to understand, but you have no idea? And you feel kind of guilty and embarrassed, and you're thinking, I really am going to need to know this. I don't understand what they are saying. And then somebody in the group kind of sees that you don't really understand, so they drop something helpfully in the chat, like those first three lines. Auth response, headers, X auth request. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. Okay. So what I did was I took what somebody had dropped in a chat, put some grammar on it, and asked an AI about it. Asked Copilot. And what I got was what's below, which breaks the rules for slides. It's very verbose, and this was 1/20th of what I got, and I didn't understand any of it. And at about this time, my internal 2-year-old was starting to cry and thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? So, thinking no one was looking and not thinking I would ever put it on a slide, I did the following. I still don't understand. What is a header? How do you send a header? I mean, I know what a header is, but this is a new usage of it, and I'm very literal, and it was really throwing me. Is it in a file? Is it in the URL? Is it in the HTML for display? Where is it? This is what I asked Copilot after asking the first thing. And what do my notes say? Oh, in my notes, I have what Copilot actually said. That's a fantastic question. It's totally normal to be confused. And it really helped. But you see the answer. It's a protocol. I understand protocols. I call myself a software engineer, but I'm really an engineer. Protocols make sense to me. So it didn't that doesn't answer everything, but it then said I could see the header in the browser's developer tools. I know how to do that too. And by the way, it gave fantastic instructions. I won't include them here, but if you ever want to learn that skill, Copilot will give you just chapter and verse on exactly what things to click in, say, for example, Chrome Inspect. And it still didn't solve my problem because I still needed to know how to access this stuff programmatically. That was the next question. It was an easy answer. I was like, oh, I knew that. I just didn't know that it was connected with all this other stuff. So, what I want to say to you is don't give up. When you ask a question of AI, if you don't get an answer that makes sense to you, that's fine. It'll be very nice to you about it. And you can say in very normal, even childlike English, that you don't understand and you need a more basic explanation. So my take-home points are that AI can help speed up finding complex solutions. It can fill gaps in your knowledge, and it restores memory. Thank you. And I do want to ask for questions, but would people raise their hand if they happen to fit my audience target? People who go, oh, good. All right, more than one. I'm thrilled. Okay. All right. Are we out of time? We're out of time. All right. Well, we're sitting over there. You can come and ask us questions. Thank you.